What's going on YouTube? It's your boy Julian back at again with another video. As you guys saw by the title and the thumbnail, Avengers Doomsday is sweeping the nation trailer wide, first and second trailer. So I'm gonna give you guys my theories on the movie. Alright? And potential spoilers, because these theories are not proven true, but we never know if they might be or might not be true. So if you guys don't feel like being spoiled by all this, go ahead and zoom the video, click on one of my other ones, and I'll see you guys in the next one. But if you guys are interested in the theory, grab your snacks, grab your popcorn, grab your drinks, and sit back and relax as I take you on a journey. Let's go. Alright, so the biggest thing I have to say is how Doctor Doom is going to make it in Earth 616 without being spotted as the villain. So we all know this scene right here from Thunderbolts, obviously, when they show up at the post-credit scene. So my theory is that they're going to take place, I would say, kind of right after that one, but also not, but let's just say they do, okay? My theory is that the Avengers will contact Thor, because obviously it's going to be the villain. They'll contact anyone they know because they don't know if these people are a threat. They don't know if the Fantastic Four is a threat or anything. So they land the ship, they make it to Avengers Tower, they say, we can talk right here. Okay? They take them up to Avengers Tower, and Doom is with them, guys. Victor is with them. He is portraying himself as a good guy so he can get in, okay? So they're all talking, they get to know each other, right? They're getting to know each other. And then we got this beautiful we have this scene right here with in the first trailer with Ben and Sue Storm talking with the Wakandans. And I think this has to be right after their whole meet and greet, okay? And as you guys can see, they're all standing right here like they are in the trailer, okay? In the trailer, it just shows this empty spot, but in this empty spot, obviously, that's going to be where Doom is. If it's not, then it's not. But this is my theory. I believe Doom is standing right here between, the center, like mid them. Anyways, but they want to go and meet the Wakandans, because Wakanda, they don't really go with America's choice, obviously. So Ben and Sue agree to go meet with Wakanda while Johnny, Franklin, and Reed stay there with Thor and them, okay? And obviously there's going to be like this big old showdown, so there's a mid-fight. But I think before they even do all that, before the Wakandans and all of them have to meet, I believe Doctor Doom slips away. And what I mean by that is he just explores the world. But he sees this guy who looks exactly like him, which is going to be Tony Stark, obviously. And he thinks if he uses his, if he hides his face, he doesn't have to worry about it, He doesn't have to wear the mask, obviously. Okay? So, he takes off his mask, but no one's around him. But he travels to a different universe. This is where Tobey Maguire's universe and the Fox Trinity X-Men come into play. Their universes start to collide, and they don't know why. But there are these threats, these little minions that Doom has going for them. But Doom is causing the incursion of their world, okay? So before the incursion fully completes, they get teleported. The X-Men get teleported, and mind you, this is the time where I would think Ben and Sue went to go meet the Wakandans, okay? And then we draw back to Reed, Thor, and possibly Ant-Man, and Johnny and Franklin, okay? So the X-Men get teleported in Earth 616, but not all together. They all get teleported in different places, okay? So, this is what I think. The X-Men lands inside Avengers HQ. The Avengers and reading them are interrogating, who are you? What happened? What's going on? And then one of the X-Men, I don't know who, but tells them our world was destroyed. Our world was collided with another. We don't know how we got here. But then the X-Men, whoever it is, looks up and sees a picture, like a memorial of Tony Stark, and they're gonna say, he looks exactly like that. He looks something similar to Tony Stark, okay? Then Thor's gonna be like, that's not possible, because Tony is dead. Tony's been dead for years. And this is where that kick kicks in. Reed and Johnny look at each other and realize that Tony Stark looks exactly like Victor. Alright? So, for Reed to be sure, okay? For Reed to be sure of all this, he asked one of the X-Men, we'll just say Cyclops, for the coordinates to their planet. He gets the coordinates, he types it in, he asks Johnny to go with him. Ant-Man's obviously watching the baby because he could be trusted. And Thor tags along, okay? This is when we get this scene in the second trailer with the destruction, right? They look at this place and they just see it's all just bad. It's destroyed. Johnny and Reed are looking at each other with like shocked faces. Thor is angry and they're looking for Victor. Okay? They're looking for Victor. They find Victor. And Thor is ready to charge at him, but Reed says, "Wait. Let me talk to him. Let me make sure." Okay? Thor holds back with Johnny. Reed goes down there, talks with him. He's like, "What's going on?" And then that's when he's realizing that that Victor's not even like looking lost. He looks like he did it. So that's when we get that beautiful scene where Reed's like, "Did you do this?" And he's not giving him an answer. And then he grabs him and he's like, "Did you do this? Answer me." Okay? And that's when Victor tells Reed the truth. He says, "Yes, I did. For the sake of all the multiverse, I did. And I believe that the multiverse needs fixing. That is why I'm here, Reed." And Reed is just shocked by betrayal. Like, he's shocked, he's angry, he's broken, and then he gets hit with betrayal at the same time. But he tries to convince Victor, not to go through with this, okay? He's like, "Don't go through with this, Victor. You don't need to do this." Victor bows his head and says, "Sorry, Reed. I'd have wished it not be like this." Gets in a fight with Reed Richards and ends up killing him, launching him away. Johnny and Thor see it. Thor is angry. Johnny flies off, not to Doom, but to Reed to check up on him. That's when we get that scene where Thor comes down and says, "I swear you will beg for hell long before I grant it," and then starts swinging. Okay? They lose. Johnny doesn't know what to do with Reed's body because he can't do anything. Reed's last words to Johnny are, take care of my family. Take care of our family." And then Thor gets up and realizes that's when Doom, you could say, doesn't rise those centuries yet. Hold off on that one. But they realize Doom is too overpowered. They have to go back because they cannot do this on their own. Okay? So, after meanwhile that's happening, Ben and Sue are getting to a fight with the Wakandans. Okay? Once that's over, they go back to the house. And Sue asks Johnny, "Where's Reed at?" Thor has to look away. Johnny pulls her aside and tells her. Sue has this breakdown. Sue has this hard breakdown. She's in tears. Franklin is there, and he just sees his mom go into shock, like into tears. And then he realizes his dad is gone. And in the trailer, we see Johnny holding Franklin. This is where I think this comes in. Johnny picks up Franklin to comfort him. Sue takes a couple minutes, right? She takes a couple minutes to herself to breathe. And that's when she starts telling everybody that is there, who Victor was. Victor was the smartest man alive, She says all this. Victor was a good, person, but I didn't realize he was lost. Okay? And in that part, you see Thor, he's, sad. He looks like he failed. And remember, he looked exactly like that in Infinity War, He was mad. Okay? So, and we see by the trailers, the X-Men, they're all there. So they're all there, and then they start getting into an argument, right? They're arguing with each other left and right, and that's when Thor gets upset. He snaps. Boom. "Put aside your petty squabbles. We don't have time for this." He's telling them, but we have a bigger threat amongst us, okay? They all talk for a minute, then they all get ready to gear up to go after Doom. Alright? And then we cut back to where Doom is. That's when he's on the collided planets, okay? That's when he, boom, hits the ground. That's when the Sentinels rise. The Sentinels rise up, okay? And then we cut back to the house where everyone's about to leave, but Thor takes a minute. He goes outside into the woods. He prays, okay? He prays to his father. And then we cut back to Doom. Just rising, how he was without saying "I am Doom," just rising and not saying anything. And I think that's how we'll get leaded into Secret Wars. They'll gather everybody to go with them. But that's just my theory. So, yeah. But anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Hope you guys enjoyed this theory. Remember, these are just theories. If they come out true, I will get the Fantastic Four logo tattooed right here if it comes out. If any of that comes out true. But until next time, guys, I'll see you in the next video. Peace.